Welcome everyone for today video. We have the SuperUnited Blitz in Croatia 2025. We have Alireza Firouzja and white pieces against the world champion Gukesh on black pieces. Alireza start with d4, knight f6, and we have directly g3, d5, bishop g2, bishop f5, c4, c6, and knight f3, e6, knight c3, and we have now h6 and queen b3. We have Indian game, Tartakower attack, a queen b6 and c5, queen takes queen, and pawn takes queen. Bishop e7 by Jukish, and we have h3 by Firouzja. So Jukic played e6, releasing his rook from protecting this pawn on a7, and Alireza played b4. Maybe he wants to play b5. So the rook on a8 is hanging, cannot take with the a6 pawn. This is typical idea. Castle by Jukish. And we have b4 taking the bishop. Bishop came back to h7. Bishop f4. And the position is around the draw. Knight e4 by Jukish. So Alireza played h4. Maybe he wants to open the h file, attacking the king here. f6 by Jukish, making control for the g5 square. h5. And now finally he developed his knight. So knight came to d7. Knight h4. Maybe he wants to go to g6, or he want to trade on e4, knights and bishop. e5 by Jukish. He wants to pick the center to do something in the center, because when you have attack on king side or in queen side, you have to make some counter play on the center. So pawn takes pawn, oh, no, oh, sorry, knight takes knight on e4, and pawn takes knight, came back to e3, and we have now a5 by Gukesh. Rook takes pawn on a5, rook takes rooks, and pawn takes rook, pawn takes pawn on d4, and bishop takes pawn back. The position is still equal. Knight takes pawn on c5, knight came to g6, bishop takes knight, pawn takes bishop. Now Alireza opened the h5 for his rook, and we have bishop pair, so the position is slightly better for the white. f5 by Gukesh, so pawn takes pawn, bishop takes knight, then bishop takes pawn on e4, but the rook will take the pawn on a5, so no benefit. Alireza still calculation. Pawn takes pawn, rook takes pawn, and bishop h3, attacking the rook. Rook d5, attacking the bishop. Bishop came back to e3. So king came to f8, avoiding the check from e6. Prophylactic move. Bishop c8, attacking the pawn on b7. Maybe he wants to take the knight on c5, then take the bishop, take the pawn. Or he wants to sacrifice his bishop on, or his rook on h6, maybe, and then take back with the bishop with check, and the pawn on g6 will be dangerous with two bishop. Knight to b3. And now the plan, I think, to sacrifice, he is calculate, sacrifice the rook on h6. Then he take with the bishop with check, with the king move to g8, maybe check, fork rook, or he will promote the pawn to the queen, still calculation, and finally he played rook takes h6. Fantastic move by Alireza. And now Gukesh cannot take the rook, I think. And now the threat will check with the rook, checkmate in one from h8. So what the solution? Maybe he wants to move his bishop. So bishop then to b4 with check, king f1. And now better to take the rook. And when he check, the king will go to e7. But instead he makes blunder. Knight take the pawn on a5, and the rook came back to h4. And the position now completely winning for Alireza. So knight c4, rook check from f4. The king came to g8, and now he blundered the rook, and he resigned. Alireza won the game. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Goodbye.